We're live from Nashville, Tennessee. 10 days out from Ironman, Wisconsin. It is 11:30, roughly. Central Standard Time, the same clock that Madison uses. So I will not be changing time zones for my race, but I will be changing latitude, and that latitude will be shifting shortly. Get my feet on the ground, get accustomed to what's going on, the temperatures. It's going to be a totally different ballgame, although Nashville is getting cooler. It's been a little cooler. Today is 10 days away from Ironman, Wisconsin. If any of you are doing the race, Howard, what's up, buddy? Then you have 10 days to get your head straight. And your body should be kind of straight too. But since I actually titled this Taper Fail, that's a little bit of a strong, that's probably my news background, tease writing, little dramatic. But today was a recovery day in my taper, which was an hour ride and like a 25-minute run or something like that. And one of those things did not happen. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't the bike. So I did get out on the bike today and just spun it around, a little simple 1 hour spin, kind of chilled in Aero out at the airport. And tonight I had to meet somebody for dinner in Green Hills, which is about, I don't know, maybe 8 miles from here. 7 or 8 miles. It's maybe it's 10. Let's say it's 10. It's in West Nashville. I'm in East Nashville. Typically not that big a deal, but I was meeting somebody for dinner, and it took me 1 hour at 5:30 tonight. Or I left here at, I was meeting them at 5. So I left here at 4:15 to go 10 miles, and it took me 1 hour. And on top of taper moods, that really was not settling very well with me. Nashville is just kind of getting out of control. Hey, I can't even read that. Oh, hey, Lori. How are you? Anyway, so it was a 10-mile drive. Took me an hour. A little salty about that. But I honestly, I wrote about after the podcast today. Oh, today's podcast. I am Mike from the Crushing Iron podcast. My partner and co-host Robbie is the coach. We recorded our podcast number 298 today, and it was titled Ironman Wisconsin Course Strategy. So if you are racing and you missed that, highly recommend listening to some of that. He's coached over 35 Ironman Wisconsin finishers. He's done the race. I've done the race twice. This will be my third time. I'm from Wisconsin. I haven't missed an Ironman Wisconsin, either spectating or racing, since 2013. So we have a lot of background and insight on that course. A lot of good stuff in there. We talked about it all, from transition to swimming and how to handle that rectangle swim. We did look at the course map today about the swim, and it found something interesting. They had the start green little box thing out in the water. So I don't anticipate it being a mass start, but we were thinking that possibly, is it possible that they have a timing mat that will be suspended over the water, and we'll have to swim through a little like tunnel situation, and that will be our start? If that is the case, super kudos to them, because to be able to get into the water and kind of like get a little bit of, even if it's just a little bit of acclimation before you actually start, that is massive. I'm really hoping that's the case. I'm not holding my breath. I imagine it's going to probably just be you walk over a mat and then you walk into the water and then you start. But I don't know. It would be really interesting if that was how they were going to start it. Just kind of like line you up and then You get in there and swim out to that little area, and you go kind of through it, when you're ready. And I think that's how it should be. Maybe there's plenty of room. God knows that's a huge area right there at the swim start to be, which is why the mass start works so good up there. Um, and I am so back to my run. I knew today I wasn't going to do that run. I ran yesterday, and frankly I was just I was definitely. I mean, I know fatigue's part of the whole drill, but like I had a little soreness that I didn't like that I really haven't had in a while, and I've been running quite a bit. So I decided I'm gonna, you know, shelve that little run as little as it seems. I didn't want to. I didn't want to, deviate from the taper. I wanted to be strong on all this stuff, and it's these little things that are the ones that you can kind of easily push aside. And I just wanted everybody to know that it wasn't because I didn't want to do it or I didn't have the ability or energy to do it. I definitely could have ran 25 minutes tonight. That's not the case. But I'm getting a little older, and I prefer to be not sore. So kind of whatever that's going to take. I mean, I'm not. I think I have a ride again tomorrow on a swim. Maybe I can't even remember now. It's starting to blend together so hard. But I'm gonna keep doing the rides. I'm not gonna, try and win the race or do anything crazy with anything right now. And I also think maybe that swim yesterday took a little bit out of me. It was a big deal for me to get out to the lake, and I actually pushed it pretty hard and went pretty good distance. So Phil Jones says, "Hi, how you doing, Phil, man? I felt like garbage at the start of my 25-minute run today, but great at the end. You should have gone." Ha! Laugh out loud, he says. Well, listen, Phil, it's only 8:30 here, and now that you mention it, I might have to get out the headlamp. I'm not so worried about. I just don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, I know. Here I am. I'm negotiating with myself, but I know I have a run tomorrow, and I just don't feel like running right now. It's that simple. My legs are sore in little weird places, and I haven't felt that in a long time. And maybe that's the healing. Maybe that's the whatever you want to call it. But for me, it's really more important now about getting a good night's sleep because last night's sucked. It was one of those weird ones, man. I was tired after. I felt great after that swim yesterday. It was late morning. Had lunch with a buddy. I was flying high, and then I went for a little run, and then kind of got tired, man. I kind of had that afternoon fatigue, like after a swim thing. The swim can really do that to me. I probably didn't handle my post-swim recovery the best yesterday either because I didn't really eat for a while. And you know how that stuff adds up. But so yeah, I didn't sleep at all. I mean, I slept, but it was a dumb. I was like, I'm going to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock, and that never works. And I kind of almost fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I was wide awake, and I started watching that dumb documentary series called The Family. I actually thought it was pretty good at first, and then it kind of started getting on my nerves, and it just plants darkness. I'm sick of planting darkness. All these Netflix series have this kind of doomy feel to them, and we get hooked on that. And I can tell honestly that it affects my mood when I get sucked into these things. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to listen to podcasts at night anymore. Just only funny ones. None of that's going very well. It's just like when you get done and you got nothing going on, you're laying there in bed, and then you just feel like you need some distraction. So I really, really, really wish that I had a better pre-bed ceremony of sorts. Maybe I'll try that tonight, says Phil. Phil says, don't run. He has the day off tomorrow. That's very nice. You know what? I'm going to look that up right now. because I may actually have the day off. I doubt it. I think I'm a little younger than you, Phil. Right? Um, Let me see. Is there a word or a term or some kind of something for the accumulating amount of time that we waste while we're waiting for web pages to load and different things like that? Because I feel like I may have possibly spent a whole year waiting for web pages and or different things like that on the computer. That's a big number. Over the accumulated time of my computer experience, I feel like I may have wasted a year. Oh man, yeah, I got the opposite of a day off tomorrow. I have actually a pretty big bike, and then I'm running off the bike, Phil. So uh, enjoy your day off, buddy. I'll be out there crushing it, getting ready for that race while you're sitting around eating ice cream. Oh shit, I'm getting goofy, man. It's about that time. We got what wager do we make for the slowest run at Ironman? Oh, we're betting the winner will. We're betting who can have the slowest first split on that marathon. Phil, I forgot to ask. Are you in on that bet, by the way? Yeah. Well, no, I'm actually cruising to Wisconsin. You have that same workout tomorrow or Saturday. I have mine on. I'm leaving Sunday. I have a day off Sunday, so that's my day off. Lord's Day. I'm taking it too. I mean, I guess the following Lord's Day will be deep in hell out on that course. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have went there. That was partially because of that Netflix series. See, I'm not usually that way, but that Netflix series called The Family is all about sort of the most powerful people in the world being led by Jesus, and it's really interesting, but it just got a little slow. Phil says he's in on the bet, but he's pretty sure he's going to lose. Is that you're just going to come flying out of transition? Is that what you're telling me? I mean, all of this talk, all of this preparation, all of this hold back discussion, and none of it's sinking in. You just can't contain it. It's an interesting bet because you don't want to go too slow, but you know, you kind of want to go slow for the first few miles. I can't remember where I've told this story a bunch of times, but again, I'll never forget my neighbor who used to be he used to live right around here, and he's always fast triathlete. I didn't know him all that well, but I got to talk to him a few times. And he once did this was back in the hot days of Ironman Louisville. I'll never forget. They had 1,000,000 splits. I think they had them for almost every mile. It seemed like probably not, but there was a lot of them every mile and a half or something like that. But anyway, his first 3 miles he ran at 9:50 pace, and then he ran 23 straight miles at 7:30 to get top 10 Louisville overall as an amateur, and that was when the pros were there. So always been impressed with that. I mean, it was kind of like he's saying, "All right, I'm going to run the first 3 miles 2 minutes slower than the pace that I'm going to hold for the rest of the race." So, how many of us out there have the balls to do that? Phil, Tom, Wes, anybody? Who's got the courage to run the first 3 miles 2 minutes slower than their ideal pace for that marathon? Phil Jones says no, probably not. It's a hard thing to do, man. That is hard. It's gotta be super hard. I definitely don't think I can do it. I mean, that's not only hard, it's just really a lot of confidence because you don't wanna you just don't wanna throw away the first 3 miles. I mean, because that's probably what it would feel like, if we're out there running like 11, 30, 12-minute pace. That first 3 miles, it's like, man, then you feel like you got a lot of catching up to do, but what's the difference if you can't hold it on the backside? Any number. So it all makes sense. It's all not easy. It's all trickery because I guarantee that most of us are going to be right at that 5 mile mark going, whoa, I feel amazing right now. And then I feel like that's like the secondary holdback spots, 5 or 6 miles, because you'd be coming up to that second trip up State Street. There's going to be a ton of people around. You can be just off the hills and you're going to be coming down the hill, and then you go into State Street, and there'll be a ton of people around cheering you, and you'll probably feel pretty damn. The odds of feeling pretty good there on the first loop are pretty high, and then you turn around and go away from those people, and then you're in total isolation for the next like 3 miles on that path. It's like, and then you're like, oh man, where is everybody when I need them? And then you go out to that long turn around and come back, and then it's just kind of not my favorite part of the run. It's a tough one. Not even tougher at mile 22, 23, something like that. It's tough. It gets. I remember it being getting a little dark. You know, bike path dark. That kind of stuff. But so I'm not taking. I'm not getting any takers on that slow first 3 miles. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it either. Gonna go ride tomorrow, and then what I have Saturday. Jesus, I thought this was taper. Big swim. That makes me a little nervous. Oh, I know what I was gonna say about that swim, man. Wes, are you out there by chance? Is anybody when I swim, I normally kind of get a little congested. I assume that a lot of you guys feel that too. I mean, just normal in the pool stuff. And then I went out to the lake yesterday and did some long swimming in the lake, and I really had this like congestion going on last night. So it's got me nervous. Not nervous, but I have a practice swim the day before up there. I'm actually thinking about moving that to Friday, just so I can get that stuff out of my system if it happens again. Um, because the worst part for me was that was I was having trouble like that was part of the sleeping thing last night. And I don't want to have that the day of or the night before the race, even though I know I won't swim that far. But I don't know, it's just all these decisions. I get congested after every open water swim too, says Phil. Alexander says, I get it on my lake on the practice swims, but I don't have that problem on race day. Yeah, I was thinking about that, man. It's like after you get out of the water and then you start, because you keep your blood going and you're on a bike, and then it's sort of like all the blood and that circulation goes to your legs. So that's a good point. I'm not really worried about it on the race day as far as like affecting me and breathing and all that. I'm more concerned about the night of the race, sleeping and the breathing. Yeah, sinuses get congested. See, that's like a pretty common thing, I think. So I'm literally thinking about doing my wetsuit kind of dry run on Friday after we do the live podcast up there, and then just maybe ride my bike a little on Saturday and leave it at that. That's the other thing too. Is like for me as an older man, it doesn't hurt me to have like a full day off from swimming. I'll just do. I don't know. I won't do anything, and I'll feel fine. and I don't want my arms to be tired and stuff like that. So that'll be a in Madison decision, I'm sure. But I definitely want to get in that lake with the wetsuit on, and maybe that Friday would be good. It's supposed to be a day off, but 500 yards in the lake with the wetsuit isn't really much to worry about. Um, I thank you guys for listening. I mean, it's good for me to kind of talk it out. It's great to have you here, and I am getting excited. I have been packing for like a week or so, just kind of thinking of things, throwing them in the bag, whatever. Did a little shopping, and I kind of think I might have most of my stuff set up, and I'm heading out on Sunday. So try and keep them going up through the race. I hope that really what I hope is that I don't have any magic wisdom, but I just hope that maybe seeing me go through it and seeing someone else go through it can kind of help calm things down for you, because this is the hardest thing right now is the anxious stuff, and then of course the unknown. But once you get up there and settled in, it'll feel comfortable. And it's a beautiful city, awesome people, and we'll have a lot of people up there. So if you're not in the C26 group, but feel free to say hi. We have a lot of great people. A lot of people will be wearing our gear, and honestly, I think unlike a lot of other groups, man, our people are super willing to talk and help out and things like that. I used to run into that a lot before we had C26. I tried to get in with like some of these clubs, and it was just like kind of getting over the Berlin Wall or something just to say hi and get a few conversations going. But we've got good people, and I love it, and I can't wait to see everybody. So Phil, enjoy your day off tomorrow, buddy. And I'll be thinking of you when I'm out there training. Thinking about drafting you in that swim. All right. Well, I'm going to head out of here, see if I can get some sleep tonight. I hope you guys are great, and we will talk to you. It's 10. Tomorrow will be a single digit. Think about that one. Single digits to Madison. All right. Have a good night, everybody.